Julie Flatko is a children's book author who lives in South Portland, and she is just out with her 12th book for kids. It's called Help Wanted, One Rooster, and she's with us here on 207. Thanks for coming in. Pleasure to have you, as always. So it all begins for a writer with an idea. How many ideas do you have in a month that would be, pretty good ideas for a book?
That's a great question. I'm going to say hundreds. I feel like I walk out in the world and I see animals, and I have a little bit of a problem with anthropomorphizing everything, which I'm sure is very annoying for everyone around me. But I get a lot of ideas and I write some of them down, and some of them, maybe of all of those, one every 2 months turns into a finished manuscript.
How do you edit them down? If you have hundreds of ideas a month, then your brain must be just going bonkers.
Some of them are terrible, and I realize that immediately, and I sort of say, okay, that's I keep it in my back pocket in case I can use it at some point, but.
You said that you love to turn animals into characters, and that is what you have done with Help Wanted, One Rooster. What was the basic germ of an idea that led to all of this?
I love stories that start with a simple idea, and in this case it's a cow who is looking for a new rooster for the farm, and then they cumulatively get sillier and more hilarious and more ridiculous.
A cow looking for a rooster for a new farm. The cow has a clipboard, which is a nice touch to sort of like keep track of all the candidates.
She's a professional cow.
Did this happen literally as you were driving by a farm in Maine or a field with a cow in it or anything like that?
You want me to tell you that I actually saw a cow with a clipboard? Wouldn't that be?
That would be terrific.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no. I see a cow and then my imagination adds things. Although I don't think I saw a cow in this case. It was just dreaming of things.
When you write, do you have your young readers in mind, or are you writing to please yourself, at least in the first draft or two?
Yeah, I write, if I can make myself laugh, then that is the ultimate goal. And then I feel like if I can make myself laugh, then that will somehow transfer in the book and will make someone else laugh.
And do you, to some extent, have children's parents in mind too, since they will often be reading the book with the kids?
Sure, yeah, definitely. I mean, picture books are meant to be read aloud, and so you have to make that a good experience for both the reader who's reading it out loud and the reader who's hearing the story.
It is indeed a picture book, and the illustrations in it are really good. You didn't do the illustrations. You write, you don't do the illustrations. Your illustrator actually is in Germany, correct?
She's in Germany, and I actually sent her a message to ask, how do you pronounce your name? And it is Andrea Stegmeyer.
How closely do you two collaborate?
Not at all, except for the sort of magic of collaboration, which is that I write these words down and then she imagines what they would look like as pictures.
Do you ever kind of wonder when the kids are going to read the book, what they're going to think of some of your loopy ideas? Or what are the kids going to think of a rooster candidate in a tuxedo? What are the kids going to think of the cow with the clipboard? Do you wonder about that?
I mean, sure. I think in some ways, when you ask, do I write for the adult, I write for the adult that would be me reading out loud, and I also write for kid me. And I think that kid me would have thought that a rooster in a tuxedo and a rooster who just wants to press a big button are pretty funny.
I would think this is one of the real pleasures of writing for children, is you not only can, but you want to have these loopy, out there ideas, because they just make for better storytelling.
Yeah. It is a great gift that I have. I don't mean that I have a gift. I mean that it is a gift to me that I get to do this.
What's your next book going to be about?
My next book is called Chester Barkingham Saves the Country. It comes out in September, just in time for the election. It's about the president's daughter who adopts a dog, and that dog sees that everyone in the government who's not getting anything done, the Congress people, could maybe do some things more like Chester the dog does.
Well, that sounds like a book that might be able to unite a divided country.
That's the hope.
Julie Flatko, the new book, Help Wanted, One Rooster. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if you would like more information on the book or on the author, you know what to do. Just head to the 207 section of our News Center Maine app or website. Stick around. In just a moment, 207 will return.